flies me higher than the moon. With every twinkle in your eye, you strike a match that lights my heart on fire.
So we met, we were both counselors for EFY, and I remember it was the last week of the summer, and let's see, it was a Tuesday afternoon, right?
4:30?
4:30, but I walked in and she was talking to one of her friends, one of the other counselors that was there, and I walked in and she was actually looking at her friend, but I saw her face right when I walked in. I was like, wow. I've never seen her before. I've worked all summer doing this, but I've never seen her before. And she was smiling. That was actually the first thing I saw. That she was just had this big old smile on her face, and there just happened to be a seat right across from her in the meeting. So of course I went and sat down, and I can't even remember what they were talking about, but I just know I just jumped into the conversation as soon as I could. Because after the meeting, like you said, I would usually bolt out of the meeting as soon as it was over because I thought they were done, but like I just hung around for a little bit, and everyone else kind of cleared out. She was still talking to her friend, and I remember they walked out to go to dinner, and I just happened to be walking right behind them too, just by myself. And I was supposed to meet up with my EFY kids to take them to dinner, but I just figured they'd be fine on their own. And then we were in line together, and I was thinking I gotta say something to her, and so I started complaining about how much I hate lines, and probably should have thought of something better to talk about, but yeah, I just remember I started complaining, and then we were talking through the line in the cafeteria.
After the complaining the line, he had mentioned that he was from Sandy, and in my head I was like, oh, that's too far, like I'm from Ogden, like there's no way I'll ever see this kid again. And so that was the first thought that I had, that we would probably never date. Usually as counselors, you know, it's always the rumor go around that everyone dates each other. And then after that, when I told him I was from Ogden, he told me that he had a companion that he trained, and he told me his name, and I said, oh, I know him, I went to high school with him. And he was like, oh, let's take a picture, we can send it to him. So he takes this picture of the both of us, the selfie, and I look at the picture and I'm like, I hate this picture. And I'm like, oh, well, I'll never see this kid again. Or that picture, like I don't care. And then we just went into line, and
I remember I sat down with my kids and she walked past me, and I thought she was really pretty, and I was trying to figure out how I could get my kids to sit on the other side, but we didn't see each other that day.
yeah, but that was it, just that one day.
Yeah.
Laces, grace just isn't my forte, but it brings me to my knees when you say hello, how are you, my darling? Today I fall into a
So our real first date was that Saturday, and so 4 days after we met, and Tanner had told me that he was driving up to see me. That morning we had our last meeting at EFY, and that night he was going to drive to my house to Ogden to pick me up, and I had no idea what we were doing. I don't think you gave me any clues. So he picks me up, and he says that we're going to the DI. So we go to the DI, and we all get...
I gave her $5, and then I had $5 to buy whatever she was going to wear for the rest of the night, and she was going to buy whatever I was going to wear for the rest of the night.
Yeah, and so I started looking through the store, and so I found like this green shirt, and it had just a square on it, and all around it just says "My Mom Loves Me," and I got him like this pink belt, and I thought I got you something else. Maybe it was just those two things.
I think it was more, yeah.
Yeah.
She only spent like $2.50 of the $5 I gave her. She's very frugal.
Thrifty. Saver. I was trying to impress you with my... No.
Yeah, so she had to wear the do-rag and the backpack with the bear sticking out the rest of the night, and to wear the t-shirt with the pink belt the rest of the night.
And so, of course, looking ridiculous, we had to go out in public, and we went to dinner at Zupa's, and
then we just went to Zupa's, and then came back to the house and hung out and jumped on the tramp for a little bit, and went home.
But that was after we went scootering.
Yes. Forgot the scootering.
Yeah, we scootered, so that was the comfortable shoes.
I brought the razors we scootered from the church to the park, and we just looked at pictures. I brought my computer, she brought a bunch of pictures of like her mission and high school and stuff like that. We just showed each other pictures and kind of got to know each other a little bit better then. Yeah, it was good.
Best date ever.
We've never tested.
We're waiting. No. Our real kiss happened that Friday.
Yes.
Friday.
She made me wait until after 5 dates, and I was counting the Wednesday date when we ordered pizza, but she didn't count that date, so I had to wait till another date after that.
But it was really good. That night we had gone to one of his basketball reunions, and it was fun. We got to talk to everybody, and I got to meet some of his friends and see Tanner from high school, and it was fun. And afterwards we decided to go for a drive, and I told him before that I really like bridges, and so he starts driving to Salt Lake, and he never tells me where we're going when we're going on drives. I never know. And so we start driving up to the University of Utah, and I remember he parks somewhere on campus. I'm not really familiar with it, and there's a bridge.
It's a legacy bridge. It's that cable bridge up on campus. But yeah, so then we just kind of walked on the bridge, and we sat down, and we were talking for a little bit, and it was awesome. We just went in and kissed him.
Okay, so my favorite date was after we kissed, Tanner decided to show me this park, Draper Park, and I'm not very familiar with Draper or Sandy area, so every day was just kind of an adventure. So he wants to take me to this baseball diamond, and we go there, and I remember we just start going around the bases. So the first base, I think we just kissed, or we were just laughing and having fun, and then we got to second base.
I took her to second base.
And of course, Tanner just makes the comment. He laughs, and then we get to third base, and he was just so confident about it. After we were talking, he just looks at me and he goes, "Kate, like, you're my girlfriend, right?" And he doesn't even ask me nothing. He just like makes the statement. He just was like right at the end, just wants to like confirm. I think I just said yes. And I was like,
I don't remember.
I can't remember. I said yes or something, and I was like, wow, that was like the first time that I realized, like, I really like this kid.
We went to Teppanyaki, and was that in Layton? Mm-hmm. Yeah, in Layton. And I'm allergic to sesame seeds, right? But I haven't had sesame seeds in a long time, so I assumed that my allergy was gone.
But I had warned him before we went.
She did.
We talked about it at my house before we even left my house.
But I don't want to be that guy that, oh, can you not put sesame seeds on my food? It was the first time I went to dinner with her parents. I wanted to impress them. I wanted to be the tough guy. But
by eating sesame seeds.
I think the chef threw on more sesame seeds than normal. Mine was just caked in sesame seeds. And I ate everything. I could feel my throat swelling as we were eating, and I just kept going. It was really good. I loved it, but I couldn't breathe. And so, like, I didn't say anything, but Kate noticed, especially in the car. Remember, so we stopped at Walmart on the way back from Teppanyaki and just got a whole ton of Benadryl, like on a hitch. And she just pumped me full of Benadryl, and then we went to my sister's football game. Well, my sister's a cheerleader, not a football player. But so we go to the football game, and it's just pouring rain. So I'm sick, I can't breathe. I'm still not feeling very good, and we're just drenched watching this football game. And then I think my favorite part was when we came back. I mean, it was super wet and it was super cold. We both changed clothes, and she made me mac and cheese. And she I just kind of laid down because I was just so loaded with Benadryl, and she just kind of played with my hair and just let me go to sleep. And yeah, that was one of my favorite. She teaches me things, and no, you do. And she just is so thoughtful, and she's always thinking about other people and about how to, me. She's always trying to help me, and she's, I don't know, just so compassionate. She's extremely smart. I love her laugh. That's one of my very favorite things about her. When she gets her little laugh attacks, that's just adorable. And I love, I guess I just love how important family is to her. And I love how she treats all of her siblings and her parents and everyone that she knows.
I think Tanner is the more thoughtful one. I can think of a lot of examples where like I'm at his house and if I fall asleep and if I have stuff in his house, then he takes all the things to my car, and when it's snowing he always wipes down my windows and so I don't have to do it, and I love taking him with me anywhere I go. He is the best talker that I've ever known. He can talk to anyone about everything. It really helps that he loves sports in the office because that seems to be a common theme through a lot of people, but he can talk to anybody. And he's really good at being a missionary.
Yeah, as we've been dating, it's just I've found myself trying to do more just because I know she's doing more, and I know that if I slack off, then I mean I can't have. I mean she can outdo me anyway, but I wanted to be closer.
Captive, small and safe in your cocoon. Go on, you can take you.
So Tanner proposed on October 4th, 2014, and we had planned it a month before that we wanted to go to both sessions of general conference that day, and so we went to the morning session and it was perfect. He had gotten off the freeway, I got off at the exact same time. We met
Coming from
there.
different ways, like what are the odds? I'm coming from the south, she's coming from the north, and we got off the same exit at the same time. She was right behind me, pulling into the conference center.
And so we met there, we went to both sessions. It was a really long day, and finally at the end of all of it, Tanner just kind of leaves. And I was like, we were there all day and we hadn't eaten, we didn't eat really anything in between sessions. We went to the gas station and he got a hot dog. And so,
she didn't eat anything, I didn't get her any lunch.
so I was starving, and so I'm like, oh, that's fine, like, I'm sure I'll get dinner. And then I was like, oh yeah, he has priesthood meeting that night, so I probably won't see him. So I was like, okay, bye. Like, I guess I'll just see you at the priesthood meeting because he was going to Bountiful, and so he was going to come to Ogden after. I remember you came to the front door that night.
Yeah.
You don't usually come to the front door. And I go up to his car, and the night before it had been really cold, and we didn't have a blanket, and so I go to his car and he gives me this blanket. He said, oh man, I feel so bad I didn't get you a blanket last night, and you were really cold, and so here's the one that you can have tonight, because we were going to revisit this place that we went while we were dating. It had another bridge, and just a lot of fun memories.
She said, I'm kind of tired, maybe we should do this another night. And I'm thinking, no, let's do it tonight.
We got out of the car and I brought my blanket. I was like, I guess he wants me to take this blanket because he bought it for me. And he comes around the car and I put my arm around his waist, and all of a sudden, like, I kind of just like fell along the side and there are like these spurs everywhere. And I was just like, what are those? He just kind of laughs it off, and we start walking along here, and I see we go like through this bridge, and all of a sudden I saw like these little, like they just like little bumps along the side, and I was like, what is this? And then I see like rose petals or something on the bridge. And earlier that day I met up with friends, and Tanner had made the joke like, oh, during general conference break we should go look at rings. And so I didn't think he'd have a ring or anything, so of course when I see all that set up, I was like, oh, it looks like someone came here before us.
I had like 14 candles set up on the bridge, and she sees them and the rose petals and just assumes that somebody else is. But they're electric candles, so like I had a remote in my pocket, so then like when we got to the bridge, I flipped on the remote and then the candles all came on at the same time.
And with that, the light bulb went off. And I knew.
Yeah, so I just kind of put her on the bridge and I just asked her to marry me. And the ring was sitting on my lap 2 hours, just staring me in the face. And so I'm trying to focus on President Monson, and then there's a ring on my lap. So I can't really, I don't remember anything that happened after the session. I've since read the talks and stuff. I don't remember anything about that first session. But as soon as it was over, they said amen. I was out the door driving probably 85, 90 on the freeway trying to get to the pond. And I met Mikkel and Alex. It was really creepy actually. I was by myself changing into my clothes in the parking lot at Buse Pond. And then we got everything set up, and I go back to talk to her, go back to pick her up, and I bring her back, and then it all happened. And then she didn't know either, but my family was going to come up and surprise us here at the house, at her house with her family, and then we came back and everybody's here.
You're a butterfly held captive, small and safe in your cocoon.
I've always wanted my kids to have for a mom, someone that I can look up to and someone that pushes me and someone that cares about me and loves me and loves everybody else too.
It's all